Just a quick market overview from Gordon Scott here. Hope that I can give you some insights on what will be happening in the U.S. market come Monday morning. And what our charts are showing us right now is that we've got an interesting setup. The markets have kind of created a situation where a big profit might be able to be extracted from a lot of people's mistake. Let me explain what I mean. I'm going to show you a few charts about the market in general, and then 4 charts of particular stocks that I think are really worth paying attention to in order to figure out where the opportunities are coming from. So let's have a quick look at that. What we're looking at here is the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, and the Russell 2000, that's the small cap stocks, and the Dow Jones Industrials. You notice that it's pretty interesting, easy comparison, right? Over the past couple of months, what is the S&P 500 doing? Trending up strongly. Closed this week up in the high range. The NASDAQ, similar. There's a little bit of a scare in the past week, but you see the buyers, every time we dip, the buyers keep coming in, right? So the upward trend is strongly intact. The small cap stocks is not that way. We got this downward move. Now, right here, what would have been, just Friday, would have been the opportunity for more sellers to push this down farther. If people were really panicked and didn't want to invest in the markets, we would have expected IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF, to have this big red candle. We don't. We've got instead this tiny red candle. So the sellers don't really have a lot of conviction right now. And the Dow Jones is kind of a, medium average of all those, which is weird that it's the average because it's a smaller index you'd expect it anyway. So what do we got? We've got a conflict of views in the market. Generally, it's an upward trend. That's a default. People still seem like they want to buy. But will it stay that way? It's a really important question to ask because Amazon on Thursday reported earnings, and this is what happened the next day. They dropped 8%. Huge drop. In fact, all of what happened in the markets on Friday, this little bit of down movement in the S&P and this little down movement in the NASDAQ and this down movement in the Dow Jones, all of that was affected more by Amazon than anything else. Amazon comes all this way down, and the averages and the weightings and so forth move all the larger indexes down a little bit. Everything else was fine. But Amazon's down. Now, why is Amazon down? It's not because of their earnings were bad. Look, see, here's the numbers. They were coming in with an estimate of $12.23 a share, and they reported $15.12 a share. So they were 23% higher than analysts had estimated. It was good news. They had a record-breaking quarter for brand new highs of revenues. This is the biggest retailer on the planet by orders of magnitude, and they're doing great. So what's the bad news? Why the sell-off? Because in the earnings call they said, well, it looks like people are the pandemic effects are kind of getting over. People are going back to their old shopping patterns. And so we think that our rate of growth is going to be slowing in the quarters ahead in response to that, as a result of that. And people said, really? Slower growth for Amazon? Sell the shares. I mean, it's a serious overreaction in my estimation. However, let's look at it at face value. Is it true that people are going to stop shopping Amazon as much, clearly not going to stop Amazon, but as much because they can go to brick and mortar stores somewhere else because, pandemic easing up? Is that what's going to happen? If it's true that that's going to happen, then what is going to happen with the travel industry? Look at these stocks that are just about to release earnings. TripAdvisor. Trip is the stock. They're up in 2 or 3 days. Bookings, that's, what Priceline became, and Expedia, and Kayak, the website and the app Kayak. That's all booking. Okay, so these are travel services, and then over here in the corner we got Delta Airlines. All of them are showing the same kind of pattern, downward move. They recently bumped up, but they're getting ready to make another downward move. Delta did have this big drop. That's a weird thing for Delta to drop like this. See, if Amazon is saying the pandemic's getting over, so we're not going to make as much money because we made a bunch of money during the pandemic. If Amazon is saying that, then Delta should be going up in price, because if the pandemic is getting over, people should be flying, right? I can tell you, I've actually been on a couple of plane trips, in fact 3 in the past month, and they were all very full. These are all Delta Airlines, and if you look at Delta's earnings, they were estimated to lose money this past quarter. Guess what happened? They made money. I can tell you how they're making their money. I know this. They have not staffed back up. They're very lean on staff. You call Delta, and what do? You wait 5 hours on hold. They tell you hold times are 5 hours. Everybody hangs up. Nobody calls the customer support line. They don't hire as many customer support people. I heard from one of their agents that they're planning this huge IT upgrade, and that somewhere in the fall, probably you're going to have a lot better chance of accessing Delta agent help online. That'd be my guess. Meanwhile, they're not going to spend a lot of money trying to bring down hold times. Even if they tried, though, they would still have a hard time, because it takes a while to train agents to competence, and they are struggling with that. So you look at all that and you say, oh, wow, Delta's got company problems. Well, those company problems are helping them, because they came in at positive $1.02 per share earnings, where they were estimated to be losing $1.38. I don't understand personally why the industry didn't say, that's amazing, the pandemic is over, travel's back, right? No, you see the earnings dropped down, the dip happened, prices got bought back up, but as of Friday, they sold off. So we got 2 contradictory things. Either travel's not going to happen and Amazon's going to do well, or Amazon's going to do poorly and travel is going to do well. What's it going to be, people? Pick a side. I feel comfortable with picking the travel is going to come back side. As a result, Trip, Booking, and Delta Airlines are all 3 probably interesting plays. I feel like TripAdvisor is the most interesting of them. They are estimated to only lose 10 cents per share. I'm guessing they will beat that. They will. Everybody's been beating earnings, so clearly I would expect TripAdvisor to beat that. Question is, how much will they beat, and how much will they think their prospects going forward are good? And we'll see how it responds. I expect that regardless of how it responds, it won't go down much more. We'll find some support long term. That is to say, over the next 3 months, Trip will probably be a very good play. So if you're looking for my estimation of what is the opportunity opening up, I think the travel sector. It's clearly going to sell down a little bit more, but somewhere this week it finds a footing and gets ready to take off. Either that, or it's going to continue to go down, and Amazon is the opportunity. I think that's the less likely play. Hope that synopsis of the markets was interesting to you, and that you find usefulness in the trading ideas. And good luck to all of you guys in your analysis and teaching of people in the coming week ahead.